with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.
Peace, trial. Oh, super tweaking, man. Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. Here with another video. This is the Shift Report where shift happens. And today we're going to be discussing a new moon in Aquarius, which is taking place today. It's, you know, I would say it's a good time to understand humanity. And interesting thing, I had it all set up, and then I get here, and I'm like doing like in the video, realizing that I don't have any of the things set up like I thought I did. But in reference to that, I've been like when I get into like studying astrology and things of that nature, I just get really into it. I get so captivated in the study, captivated in the information that I don't know. It's like I didn't get to a point where I just want to share and talk about it. I said this before, but I'm a sun in the 11th house. So Aquarius, which rules the 11th house, I'm all for this energy, and I've always been about this energy. Got a lot of videos on YouTube, spent a lot of time and energy just learning things and sharing things. So I love this time of year. I love this season. I love this particular new moon in particular in reference to it teaches a lot about how to get things done. And since it is on the later side, and I understand that people, if they're not, they should be getting ready for their new moon intentions and ritual. And I just wanted to do more or less of a quick slideshow in reference to Aquarius energy, because if you haven't did a quick little study on it, and you don't know about these things, I feel that these things could be informative, because understanding these things about yourself can help you get things externally. So me being a sun in the 11th house person, the more that I understood about myself, the more I'm able to navigate through this matrix. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and bring up our slideshow and just get into the information. So, in the link in the description, in the link in the description, there's going to be a link for the slideshow. So if you just want to view the slideshow on your own, I based the slideshow off the article. There's a link to the article in the description, but for some odd reason, if you want to download the slideshow, you it's also a link to the slideshow. And so with these slideshows, I want to be a little bit more interactive. So this is going to be the first of many where an individual can download the slideshow and understand the energy in a more visual way. Uh, because I'm a visual learner myself, but when there are things that I don't know, I really want to know what they are. So I use many different modalities to get the point across. So I think that is useful to, many people will put out an article, but then they won't explain that article. You won't get any visuals of what they mean, especially when we're talking about spiritual things. If a person doesn't read or feel like they need to read, but for some odd reason they might decide to listen to this video, well, then that's the benefit of having different modalities to learn and to teach. Because I don't know any gurus or any masters that are willing to share knowledge, I generally have to be self taught. So, with all of that being said, this is my presentation in discussing and explaining Aquarius energy and how it would benefit you during a new moon. So, peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. I hope that this video finds you at the right time that this video needs to find you. So, just a quick overview. What we'll be talking about in this presentation. We'll end it with the Shatabhisha Nakshatra, which is a very important understanding. And the way that I utilize and understand astrology is by infusing or syncretizing many different methods and making it make sense from that perspective. So I layer on top of medical astrology. I deal a lot with tarot. I deal a lot with Vedic astrology and Hindu mythology. I deal, I don't know if I said medical astrology, but yeah, I deal with that as well. And so my understanding is that of a sidereal perspective of utilizing the stars, but then incorporating Western Kabbalistic systems. And this is how I open the doors to knowledge. If I laid all of these things down, and once I laid them down, they didn't make any sense, then I wouldn't go forward with the video in the first place. So, what you will get is hours and hours of making it sense, of making everything make sense, that I'm going to attempt to streamline in this short presentation. So, secondly, we'll talk about the tarot, understanding of why study astrology and tarot simultaneously. Now, I don't think that it is wrong for a person to do divination with tarot, because I've done it thousands of times. But at the same time, I think that the tarot is also a great way to learn metaphysical and spiritual concepts and also understand astrology if you don't know where to start. So, with that, all of that being said, I hope that you are able to receive this message and understand what I'm trying to say so that you can benefit from what I'm actually trying to say. So, first things first, many tropical and Western astrologers are going to say that the sun and moon is in Pisces. But when we look and utilize astronomical devices, we can clearly see with our two eyes that the sun and moon is in Aquarius. So maybe people don't understand this fully, and they just, don't really get deeper into the science. But at the same time, it's very important to study astrology for its truth. It's very difficult to switch the way that you've been taught about astrology to deal with the truth of astrology. But I also feel that It is much sound and much succinct, and it will help you much better than dealing with the Western chart for the very reason that it is not exact. That is not accurate. So, the analogy that I'll use all the time, and I'll use it here, if you had excellent neighbors and you wanted to, deliver something to their address, but you gave them, you sent it to an address 20 houses down. All that well intention, all the good neighboring qualities, it really don't matter because the address is not correct. And at a certain point with astrology, with the divination, like Jay Z says, a broken clock can be right twice in a day. So when you're dealing with Western astrology, there may be some things that align and help you, but it's not a science that you can rely upon because the very calculations associated with it are not correct. And so, one of the ways that the establishment keeps people under their heel is by not teaching them sidereal astrology. They teach you astrology like you can get the clock, but it's going to give you the wrong time. So when they tell you to show up to work at 6, and you show up at 8, you get fired. But you said, well, I was following the clock that I was given. And usually, you know, once again, you can have a forgiving boss, but usually, when you're not exact, when you're not accurate, you'll pay the consequences, pay the fines, and pay the tolls. So a lot of times people will get a reading and I will say, they're born March 3rd, you know, and they've been feeling like they were Pisces their whole lives. And then I say, well, actually, you're Aquarius. They don't fully accept that. So, saying all of this to say, astrology can be a wonderful tool for self realization and self actualization, or it could be something that you could use to philosophically masturbate. When we look at the sun and the moon in Aquarius, this is a very auspicious, very magical, very human, spiritual conceptualization. Because when we look at Aquarius, this is one of the very few, if I don't think there are any humans that represent the symbology, unless we're talking about Ophiuchus. But when we look at Aquarius, this is an entity or analogy or a metaphor for humanity, where the human on the look is just a material being, but the understanding of energy work, generating of energy, generating of ideas, generating of talent, the ability to share, the ability to cooperate. This is why humans defeated the Neanderthals, David and Goliath. Aquarius represents a David energy that you might be a very weak person. You might not be the smartest person. You might not be the most prettiest person, but you have a strong family or you have a strong network. And this is how you are able to be comfortable. This is all Aquarian themes. So, this is a very powerful time where if you make a wish during this transit, during this sun conjunct moon in Aquarius, you will be able to get that wish granted and that wish fulfilled. But ultimately, you have to realize what you are and who you are. Some things that I say might be a cliche, but to me, these are major breakthroughs within the psyche of the human condition. So, things such as you are a human, you are a spiritual being having a human experience, is exemplified in the Aquarian new moon, where if you're able to tap into the thing that generates experience in reference to a sun and moon conjunction, you will be able to manifest that which what you truly want. But this is heart consciousness, and this is also a way of communicating with your soul tribe, which is not your family, which is not your friends. It is the people that are going to support you. I just switched over to another email provider, and I was forwarding over all of the emails that I've collected over the years, nearly 10,000 emails that I've collected over the years, and none of them are my family or my friends. But when it comes to people that I can market to, people that I can do business with, there are, and I'm you starting this journey, and I've collected 10,000 subscribers. But my goal, moving into this next phase of what I'm doing, I'm looking for 100,000 people, and setting intentions in reference to how you wish to connect to people. Because you do have many people that are aligned to what is called your soul tribe or spiritual grouping. And when I say many, I'm talking about 1 million people at least. And the ways for which you capitalize on this energy is if you show up for yourself. Now, one's in the chat if what I'm saying is making sense. The way that you connect to others is how you show up for yourself. And if that doesn't make sense, we'll explain it more as we discuss this new moon transit. So, if people get on the live after this, they're going to be like, well, why are you talking about Aquarius when the new moon is in Pisces? So, somebody says it in the chart, let them know that astronomically, the sun and the moon is in having a brain fart, Aquarius. So, now, what rules Aquarius planetarily? The energy that rules Aquarius planetarily is Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is control and Uranus is freedom. Now, Saturn then represents the enclosement of the human body, and Uranus represents the infinite limitlessness of learning and development. I wasn't going to screen share, but I'm going to screen share because people need to see this for their own eyes. What is the limit a person can learn? While there is no definitive answer, most scientists believe that the human brain does has a physical limit to how much information can store. However, meaning that there is a theoretical limit to what a person can learn. However, this limit is so vast that for practical purposes, it could be considered essentially limitless due to factors like attention span, learning method, and individual brain variations that prevent us from reaching the full capacity of our brain. So, the long and short of it is that there is no real limit to what we can learn and what we can learn basically. There is no limit, and that is Uranus. So, you can awaken energy within yourself. You can generate energy within yourself and conquer any demon, any negative thought, any addiction. And this is a good place to do it because ultimately, how you show up for yourself is how you going to show up for the collective. And there is no sneaking around that. So if you ever was successful in reference to 11th house, moon in Aquarius, sun in Aquarius, sun, moon in 11th house, Venus in 11th house, Venus in Aquarius, something like that, right? You experienced success, but that success was like fleeting. The reason that it was fleeting is because you was probably too busy showing up for other people. You didn't even show up for yourself. So the understanding of Aquarius, right, is Saturn and Uranus. There is a controlled level of being you, but then there's also this unbelievable, unlimited capabilities that you can reach when you self master, when you self actualize and self realize. So, this ultimately looks like reprogramming your subconscious mind in a way that you live and look and behave differently. Your habits, patterns, everything changes about you. That is Uranus, and Saturn is you still being the same person that you was. Like you don't jump out of your spiritual being don't jump out of your body into another person's body. Right? This is the Saturn quality to all spiritual nature. So when you cross that bridge into spirituality, Saturn is always going to ground you into your body because you're always going to wake up as this person. But that doesn't mean that you cannot change. So the analogy is like, you could have been living your whole life as a budding flower. In a budding flower, you don't see no color, you don't see no petals, you don't see no pollen. It's just green. And you never even know like what it's going to be until it blossoms and blooms and you like, wow, this is so beautiful, but it's the same flower that was a bud. And I guarantee you didn't notice that bud when it was growing. It was just a great, you could mistake it for a long blade of grass. But then all of a sudden you walk outside one day and boom, it's a flower and it's so beautiful and it's so captivating. This is you when you self actualize and self realize and you stop playing with yourself, right? No pun intended. Because they call Aquarius the water bearer, which the water bearer bears water, which symbolizes a flow of energy, but also that flow of energy pushes blood and water. Blood is water, right? Blood is liquid. This information and knowledge and cells get pushed through our body, and this is Aquarius. We are Aquarius. We are the water bearer. We are mostly water as human beings. So to live and to survive within our body and our mind, there is a substance that assists in the growth and development of yourself. And I promise you, it is hydration and it is cardiovascular exercises. This is how you generate energy. One's in the chat if what I'm saying is making sense. Because you would say, well, how do I manifest a better life for myself? And I am telling you, based upon medical astrology, you drink more water and you exercise cardiovascularly because you generate energy, but it's an inside process. As you generate energy, water and air, this creates electricity. This electricity is a magnetic charge. This magnetic charge brings information, money, love, support, everything you need because you are a god, a generator, a operator, and a destroyer. This is very simple stuff. This is not going to hurt you or break your bank when you say, I'm going to drink water and I'm going to get on the treadmill for 30 minutes. I'm going to get on a Stairmaster for 10 minutes. I'm going to just walk around my block. I'm going to jog around my block. I'm going to make love. Aquarius is a sexual sign, if you didn't know that already. So we're going to look at the major tarot associated with Aquarius, and we're also going to look at the minor tarot associated with with Aquarius. So the major tarot associated with Aquarius is the star. The star is a celestial object that benefits Earth. So our sun is a star. Everything in reference to growth, photosynthesis, has to do with the sun giving energy. Our growth and development. Now, I've been spiritually led to take more vitamin D to stimulate and simulate solar energy internally. If you are in the northern hemisphere and don't get access to sun based upon the tilt of the earth in the winter months, it is okay to megadose and macrodose vitamin D for solar energy. And it's beautiful, it's wonderful to have, hot weather beating down on your skin, but we are just like the plants. Like we do photosynthesis. We convert solar energy into information. So, don't go to Walmart and get your vitamin D. Go to a natural food store, a botanical, a store that has a good reputation for being all natural. Get you some liquid gel caps, right? Because you can get the foods associated with it, but we're talking about mega doses and macro doses to level up. So vitamin D, especially if you've not been at your best. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaliyah sing, at your best you are love. You're a positive, motivating force within the lives of the collective. And this is something that you have to take responsibility of this particular energy. Meaning that it could be the worst person in the world to the left of you and you the best person in the world, y'all still is converting solar energy. He's just converting it for bad. It's your responsibility to convert it to good. And when you get caught up on the external, you lose this very important piece, which is the fact that you are a star being. Your central nervous system is built with astrocytes. So, this is why when we do chakra work, it helps people and you have a better experience and your life is better when you're doing chakra work, right? You're just not going to have a harder time if you're actually taking the science and understanding the self-actualization and the self-realization, because here it is, astrocytes are star shaped glial cells found in the central nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord. The brain and spinal cord is the same thing as raising kundalini. So, according to traditional chakra beliefs, the primary chakras are located along the spinal cord, with each chakra corresponding to a specific area of the spine associated with different aspects of our physical, mental, and emotional well being. One's in the chat if y'all understood what I just said, because I'm going to tell you what I just said. No external experience is going to save you. No job is going to save you. No relationship is going to save you. No house is going to save you. No car is going to save you. No friendship is going to save you. No restaurant is going to save you. No therapist is going to save you. You have to save yourself, but you need to know exactly where this is at. We're talking about the spine, and we're talking about your astrocytes, and we're talking about raising kundalini. And the reason that we're talking about this is because you are a star. You are a star. Now I'm a natural voodooist. It's not something that I've looked for or sought out. It's something that have looked for me and sought me out. So all of my knowledge comes from the Loa. Everything that I know comes from sources outside of my conscious mind. So I say all of this to say somewhere in my bloodline was, this voodoo energy and understanding. And so if you feel like you lost and you looking for some form of a direction, maybe you need to start, getting into some of this stuff, right? So with all of that being said, this voodoo tarot card is that of Zetoile, which means the star, which represents the fact that every man and every woman is a star. And that is a quote from Aleister Crowley, but that's an actual fact due to the central nervous system having which we are just, another thing, right? I can show you. Right, we ain't nothing but so give me 1 second. So this is a picture of a sperm, right? The left is what a sperm looks like under a magnifying glass, and the right is just a skull and a spinal cord. So when you are raising Kundalini, you are dealing with the true self because this is who you truly are. You are just a entity, an alien that is shooting energy up and down your spinal cord and creating the reality from a spiritual psychic foundation. You are an alien, you are an entity, you are the human body is just a mere vessel, a mere shell. Yes, you know what I'm saying? When them hips is hipping and them dips is dipping, it's a beautiful sight to see, but that's not even who that person is. So, in order to get into a space where you in full control of yourself, your habits, your addictions, and afflictions, you got to begin to see yourself for who you actually are. Cause it ain't a nigga that I'm talking to that don't got a spinal cord, a skull. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just basic 101 similarities. When they say we are 99.97% the same, this is what they are talking about. So when we say, raising Kundalini is probably the only way to self actualize because anything else that you say is going to be in reference to the human. And the human is just the shell that protects you. It allows you to exist. Because how the spine is so sensitive, so many nerves and so much. If you touch a nerve, if you is a such thing as a pinched nerve. You ever had a pinched nerve? It's excruciating. So the body protects you. If you really think about it, that is just so amazing to think about. And when you look at this particular picture to the right of Zetoile, you will see that there is a larger protection over who you truly are. You are a baby. You are a sperm. You are a sperm, but it's not. It's more of the fact that we are a alien race, an alien species, and many different alien species have invaded this planet because this planet is habitable. So therefore, when you look at different things like vertebrates and invertebrates, they're alien too. And all of this is just a deeper trust in the development of life. So if you like, all right, now I want to move forward and I want to be successful and I want things to go my way, then all you have to do is rely on who you truly are. And I know, if nobody is telling you this, you feel as though that um, that don't nobody know. So if don't nobody know, it's just not to be known. But the reality is, it is known. It is very clear once you begin to stack upon the knowledges. It begins to make a lot of sense. When you talk about the star, you're talking about divine guidance, which the ways that we magnetize guidance from celestial understandings is just by waking up and existing and living. Like and it is like, well, what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And it's like so obvious. The only thing you can do is be yourself. And so as many people before, they get self actualization bone about themselves, they're trying to figure out how to be like somebody else or do what somebody else has done. And the reality of that is that you can't do it. So this creates a negative disposition within the psyche of the human. So it's like, man, what am I supposed to do? And when you look at this energy, when you look at Aquarius energy in the grand scheme of things, you are supposed to be yourself. And people might not like you. You know what I'm saying? People might not like you. One's in the chat. It might not be your unique. If it's a flower bed and it's a yellow flower, people might not like the yellow flower. They might like the rose or the purple flower, but it's still a flower bed full of flowers. So how you show up in the world in reference to you being you is the secret to mastering Aquarius in the 11th house. Every man and every woman is a star. Like, is amazingly amazing in their own little way. And it's the suppression of that. It is the fear to show that. It is the, I'ma just, play it low key this year, scope the scenery out. That's the shit that's like, make you really not even like it's the shit that I'd be like, man, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You can just get your shit together. You know what I mean? Just get your shit together and put your shit out there, or start getting to a space where you get real comfortable with yourself. You start showing up for yourself. Like, well, I don't work out. Start your ass working out. Yeah, I work two jobs. I gotta be to work at 8. Surprise yourself. Get your ass up at 4. Be at the gym at 5 when it's open. Right? Go outside of yourself. Cause if you do that, you work out for a year before you go to work. That's going to tell you something about yourself that you didn't even know about yourself. If you are in this bitch being comfortable, just chilling, vibing, and this is crazy. Like, people, men be like, I play the game, man. I gotta have a release. I gotta have a break, that type of shit. And it's like, did you accomplish your goals yet? Your self goals? No. Then you know what I'm saying? Don't play that game at 4 o'clock. Figure something else out. So, like if you a star, you gotta put that work in. But it's just more or less of like being you. That's the work. So it's not you whatever you already doing. If you a call center rep, then you gonna be a star doing that. Whatever it is that you're doing, you just gonna show up in there because none of this shit is real too. And who's to say that you ain't working around a whole bunch of CIA agents? Because that's a thing too. So what I'm talking about, and like I said in the article, working with this particular energy. Now, but keeping the thing going, right? You set the intention for the new moon. That's cool. But this is actual factual rhymes and reasons to life. There's planetary time. Aquarius is a part of the daily understanding, it's a part of the body. It is very esoteric, meaning that it is hidden, it is within. But peep this, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the heart's magnetic field. And the heart's magnetic field is electromagnetic field. So what is your job in getting this shit popping for yourself? It is the electro part. So if you don't want to work out, because you just don't want to work out, you don't need to work out, whatever. Drink water because the water stimulates the electricity. If you don't drink water, hydrate at a high level. This stimulates electricity and this gets you to be magnetic. You're never going to see somebody that drinks spring water all the time say, I'm having trouble manifesting money, because the water is a magnetic force. Well, not the water within itself, the water that stimulates. This is why when you go to the store to get water, you get purified. There's only purified water in the store. One's in the chat. When you go to Kroger's, the purified water is right there for you to grab. But the thing about the purified water is that it doesn't hydrate you. Okay? But when you hydrate the cells, you activate the cells create a charge, a negative charge. That negative charge is magnetic. You can pay $1 million for a class, and the information that I just gave you is worth more, because you ain't gonna need the class if you hydrating at a high level. Yes, and you got to do this consistently. You have to continuously do it. So making the new moon intention is one thing, and a lot of times people, they just living. They not being intentional and understanding the power of intentions. But this is stuff that have been channeled to me in so many different ways. Like, it's just such of a high level of psychic abilities because I'm understanding the inner mechanics of it. And I'm sharing that with you guys. Because there's no sense in gatekeeping spiritual knowledge when in reference to the facts that shit, it wasn't gatekeep for me. So, and I don't know what everybody else is doing, but you know, it's Thursday, February 27th, 2025, and we're digesting this spiritual information to get further along in this matrix, in a space where everybody is looking for an external experience as a remedy to internal chaos, internal disconnection. That's not going to solve your problem. So we're doing the computer analogy, right? Your computer is not plugged up and you desperately need to like use it to get online to buy some airplane tickets. So you go and get a sticker and you put stickers all over your laptop, and at a certain point you start getting depressed because somebody told you that if you, or nobody told you, you just seen at the coffee shop all these laptops with stickers. So in your mind, you thought that by having all of these stickers, you power on your computer. This is an analogy for the spiritual community. All you have to do is plug in and tap in, and then you'll be able to do everything that you need to do. And there are so many people who do not activate Kundalini. They are in the spiritual, still looking from some external validation and they're not meditating, they're not drinking water, they're not doing breath work, they're not doing yoga, they're not deep stretching, they're not dealing with the body at all. Lymph nodes swollen, they're eating processed foods, they're eating meat, but they're not biting squirrels in the ass. I'm saying, like, squirrel is meat. Why don't you eat squirrel meat? If the white people didn't tell you to eat chicken, beef, and pork, and you was eating meat, you would probably eat the squirrel. You would probably eat the rabbit. But it's not at the store, so you don't eat it. And I'm saying all of this to say that all of the shit that's in Kroger is lowering your vibration. It's disconnecting you from heart consciousness. It's disconnecting you from your 11th house, your spiritual community. So you think it's just you. So you're not doing no generation work, like generating the energy, like getting the sweat going, working out, like exercising, cardio. I worked out today. I got two orders. And one could say those orders was going to come anyways. But I for sure was at the gym when them orders came through. And when no other orders came through today besides those two orders when I was at the gym. So all I'm saying is, and this not, it, y'all heard me say this before. I say it a lot. When I need, not even when I need money, because I don't even use it to get money, but I go there to actually work out. But when I generate energy, more or less, work out, get a good sweat, money is magnetized towards me. Love magnetized towards me. Community magnetized towards me. Conversations that uplift me magnetized towards me. Some believe that the heart's field is a form of energetic communication that contributes to magnetic attraction and repulsion between people. So at a certain level, it's going to push people away when you get into this spiritual work for real. It's going to push people away. If you've been in this spiritual shit long enough, you'll notice that people will stop dealing with you altogether because it is the generating energy that you are creating. It is your magnetic field around you that they can't even stand it. And this is a mental space. This is not an emotional space. This is not a passionate space. This is not a rational, logical space. This is an irrational, realistic space because it's people in your life that will not fuck with you. And you don't know why. One's in the chat. It's people that fuck with you, and you ain't really sure why they don't fuck with you. Y'all used to be thick as thieves, but then all of a sudden, you might have said something or done something, but they ain't tell you what you did. They just stopped fucking with you. And especially when you get into the spiritual work for real. And from my observation, this is what stops people in their tracks when they doing spiritual work, because you want to have those relationships with those people, and we don't make the rules. This is an energetic communication, and it's people in your life that you talk all of this shit and they tolerate you. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? They smoke blunts with you. You know what I'm saying? They want to ride. You know what I'm saying? You give me a ride to the store. Oh yeah, how your internet thing going? Your spiritual stuff going? Okay. You know, that shit, they don't understand you. It's people around you. Love them, care for them, all of that. But the 11th house, I will almost guarantee it don't have nothing to do with the people closest to you if it ain't your wife or your kids or your husband or your kids. Other than that, everything is up for grabs. So, just real quick, the new moon is on the sidereal chart at 15 degrees. When we look at 15 degrees, we understand that to be the heart of the sign, where the sign is fully exalted and exemplified with no blends. It is it is like queen Aquarius. So with all of this being said, the new moon at Aquarius is two lovebirds sitting on the fence singing happily. One of the explanations of this is Ananda, which is a Vedic concept that means bliss. But it is stated that the ultimate bliss is found in self realization rather than external experiences. So, whatever you've managed to get on the external, nice house, nice car, successful, business, blah, blah, blah. That is an external experience. But to be able to jog, to be able to have control of your body, you know, just be in control of your breathing, to be in good health, to be in excellent health, like to be in amazing health, to just feel good to be alive. That is a mode of self realization. And when you take your health seriously, you're not going to be like, man, I'm broke. I don't got no money. Whatever it is that you're doing, you're going because you're generating information cycling through. So you don't got a job, you living with your mama, start working out. It's don't got no money for a gym. Start walking. It's cold outside. Layer the fuck up. Walk for 4 miles. Walk 2 miles somewhere, then 2 miles back. You gonna get home. You gonna have an idea that you can execute upon. Cause Aquarius rules the calves. All of your ideas is in you being able to work out, being able to exercise, and take it seriously. I see girls go to the gym. They work out for 5 minutes. They do one curl. They be wearing them leggings though. Leggings be looking nice. I said what I said. When we, I want to throw this out there because when I talk about the six of swords, I know people might be thinking like, well, why is you talking about the six of swords? So in the previous slide, we can see that the sun and the moon is in the second decan of Aquarius, and this is good. This is good study for your own chart. If you want a deeper understanding of your chart, a good thing to do. You can download this. I just searched on Google astrology tarot chart, and this is the first thing that popped up. Or you can just do a screen share. So if you look on this chart, or a screenshot rather, if you look on this chart, you'll see that Aquarius is going to be in the yellow in the upper left quadrant, Aquarius, and then the second decan is going to be the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is the card of science, but I don't even want to deal with the cards. I just want to deal with the concept associated with the Six of Swords. Because even when you get into studying the minor arcana for the element and the number is going to be a Sephiroth on the tree of life, in the element associated with the car or the suit is going to be the condition. So the six is ruled by Tifereth. Tifereth represents the heart. Swords or words represent the mental or consciousness. So the six of swords within itself is heart consciousness. Now, this goes back to when we're talking about Aquarius in the electromagnetic field, which is pure heart consciousness. And so I didn't say this, but I should say it because a person will say, Well, how do I tap into my heart consciousness? You just stop thinking with your head and start thinking with your heart. Just with your mind, because you are an alien. You are a mind sorcerer alien from outer space that can use your mind to create reality, but you use your weakest portion of the mind, right? So it will be like if you had a CD, you had a laptop and you had a CD, and you wanted to save files. And every time you wanted to save files, you would just make a CD. And at a certain point, you had 1,000 CDs. And when you wanted to retrieve files, you had to constantly scan through these CDs and load the CD up to get the information. But the whole time, you had a hard drive, you had a computer. So your hard drive computer is going to be your heart. That CD, which is good for short term information or short term memory, easily accessible. You know, the latest and greatest song that I want to listen to at the moment is good to have CDs, but we're not going to store all of our information on CDs. We're going to use something much more stronger, much more magnetic, which would be our hard drive. So our mind is weak, our brain is weak, our heart is strong. So my divine feminines that want to get some motion, is easy for you. You know, SWV said, use your heart and not your eyes. Baby, just relax a while. And you just bring whatever you're thinking about, you just bring it down to your heart. You just keep bringing it down to your heart to the point you're not thinking about anything. You're just allowing your heart to do its thing. And this is a form of meditation. And this is the form of getting your wishes fulfilled. Use your heart and not your eyes. In Kabbalah, Tiferet, or Tifereth is directly associated with the human heart. Because I know people will say, well, because I don't just be saying stuff. I generally want to show you what I'm talking about more than saying it, because a lot of people just say stuff and they don't never explain why they saying it. And if it sound good, if it's rhetorical, then they'll just be able to get away with it. So with this particular energy, this particular knowledge, this is so beneficial to people who are having a hard time and don't know how to push through. Everything that you're thinking about, bring it down to your heart as you rest, as you go to sleep. Allow your heart to sort it out. Your heart is 5,000 times much more palpable, and ultimately it communicates with other life forms and entities as a magnetic principle. Follow your urges, follow your promptings. If it says go to 7-Eleven, go to 7-Eleven, they might be there. If it says do a ritual, do that ritual. Follow your promptings, but more or less it's easy to follow your promptings after you move your mind, brain consciousness to your heart. Tiferet, associated with the human heart, represents the central point of balance and harmony within the spiritual and physical being, often interpreted as the seat of love, compassion, and true self awareness, essentially the heart of the soul. Very simple stuff, but very transformative stuff if utilized. This new moon rather is going to take place at the Shatabhisha nakshatra, which is ruled by Saturn, discipline, Uranus, freedom. Saturn, the discipline, is in the body. You gotta master the body. You can't even understand spirituality if your body is kicking your ass. Once again, you master the body, you have the freedom of the inner world, the freedom of the astral plane, the freedom of electromagnetic force. Being that you are contained within the body, you have a larger capacity to grow and evolve, and that capacity is limitless. The symbol of the Shatabhisha nakshatra, which is ruled by Aquarius, is an empty circle. That circle represents Saturn, the emptiness represents Uranus. That circle represents the body, that emptiness represents the inner world. When you close your eyes at night, are you able to meditate and go into that world? Or are you too concerned what's going to happen tomorrow at work? Are you too concerned what's going to happen tomorrow at school? Are you too concerned what's going to happen tomorrow on that date? It's like a kid waiting for Christmas, and then you grow up and you don't even care about Christmas no more. What is it that you care about that when you transition out the body is not going to matter? Every fucking thing. When you transition out the body, it ain't gonna be like, damn, I gotta go to work on Monday. But when you talk about the ultimate principles of life, is not centered in the Western matrix. There are more principles that you can uncover within yourself that are represented to self actualization. And then the key is, how do I do this? You do this by becoming the best version of yourself. You don't become the best version of yourself without discipline. Discipline is not a bad thing. This is why it's real freaky and kinky to people because it's actually good. That's just a deeper level. Those who get it, gonna get it. So another understanding of the Shatabhisha nakshatra is Dharma. Now, Dharma is how we manage through all cataclysms and all destructive forms of experience. It's been crazy shit that have happened throughout all of human history. And the ones that have succeeded and lived enough to keep the bloodline going have focused on Dharma, spiritual principles. Spiritual principles trump all chaos. Understanding the ultimate spiritual principle is what is your duty? I was right and I got the word duty and then I looked up the word dharma and dharma really literally means it literally means duty. Behaviors that are in harmony with the order and custom that sustains life. Righteousness or religious or moral duties. The religious or moral law governing individual conduct, a way to protect people from suffering and problems, to support, hold, or maintain. So, Dharma, Ananda, these are the points and times in life. Aquarius is the points and times in life where you show up for the collective by doing your duty, what you are meant to do down here. Now, once again, if you just doing whatever you want and you don't even recognize this within yourself, you far away from self actualization. And that's okay because I've been far away from self actualization too. But whenever you're ready to make sense of this, you're going to cultivate that with which is within you. You probably already got a sugar daddy or a man that's taking care of you anyways. You paying all the bills. So now all you have to do now is self actualize. So to overview, in this video we discussed a new moon in Aquarius, and new moons are the start of a 28 to 30-day cycle. This new moon Aquarius is going to be in the Shatabhisha nakshatra, which represents 100 healers. And these 100 healers are the healing that takes place on the internal. All you have to do is focus on the internal through cleansing the body, cleansing the mind, instead of seeking external inspiration at all terms. If you want to get into this with this energy over the next 28 days and beyond, movement, which generates inner magnetism, which will keep your energy flowing and keep you glowing from now until 2026. 7 and beyond. You feel me? There's no real reason to stop moving and grooving and getting in tune with the body. So that's why I say that. Even though it is a transit, this is much more than a transit. It's a way of moving forward. So for those of you looking for 11th house, looking for a community, would suggest that you join the Chakra Nova 777 intensive, which will give you access to the Discord, which will give you access to courses, previous workbooks, and then access to future lives as well. We've only done two, and we have five more. So it's not too late, and the class will be prorated. And you can also break the payments down into like, $15 increments or something like that. So nothing to break your bank, but it's definitely a place where if you're looking for something internally that is going to awaken you, that's going to guide you, that's going to assist you, uh, join the Chakra Nova 7/7 intensive for that particular experience. And of course, I'm in the Discord. If you got any questions for me, if you want to like pick my brain on something, when we talk about the Discord, people are always talking, communicating, growing, inspiring, and it's a beautiful thing. So if you've been interested and what I'm saying, been on the fence about it, take that leap, take that jump, join the Chakra Nova 7/7 intensive. The link is in the description. But of course, man, I just wanted to do a quick video in reference to today's energy. But in reference to the Chakra Nova 777 intensive, if you want additional discount, you can enter the promo code YouTube40 and check out and save 40% off the order. So that's nearly half off. So, of course, any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me at Instagram at the Hood Mystic. Just want to say thank you for anybody who's watching this video, got something from this video, took some notes, and looking forward over these next 28 days to really do some amazing things through cultivating your inner magnetism, through movement, hydration, and cardiovascular work. Very simple stuff, but very few people actually do it, but that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day, and I believe in you. I was anti cardio, but I'm on the stairmaster every day, getting that good sweat in, and you know if nobody's proud of me, I'm proud of myself because I know how much I hate doing that shit. So if you anything like me, you know what I'm saying, do it anyways. So with all of that being said, this has been another edition of the Shift Report, where shift happens. I'm your host, the Hood Mystic. Hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you learned something from this show, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.